Unremarkable and Odd Places in Arkham Knight. This video type was heavily inspired by the YouTuber Any Austin, and a few more videos will be like that too, so if you notice any similarities or borderline plagiarism, hopefully not plagiarism, but if you do, that's why. Go check him out. I really like his content. Gotham City, with the city across 3 individual islands, dense with both civilians and buildings, or well, it would be civilians, but it's all thugs because all the normal people evacuated. Most people consider Gotham to be far from boring, so I took that challenge and decided to find those little places in Gotham that you most likely have never taken the time to visit, or if you have, quickly forgot about. One place I'll bet most of you have never taken the time to explore is right here. And no, I'm not talking about Port Adams, but this small yellow container. And within this small yellow container is nothing. Nada. One of the few containers in the game to not feature anything within it while also having no doors on it. And as far as I can remember, there are no Riddler trophies either, meaning it's just here, doing nothing, being boring, and that's not a bad thing. All you can do inside this container is grapple out of it or hang out the front, and that's it. There's nothing else you can do. Though there is actually a Riddler trophy down here, but it's underneath, meaning once again the yellow container being open for Batman to enter is useless. Also, Batman cannot even get into it under normal circumstances, as if you try to grapple, you get taken way above it, and he also cannot climb up from it, as it is too high for him to reach with his puny 6'2" height. And despite being able to grapple out the back, you also can't enter through the back, even though it looks like he should just be able to squeeze through there. No matter where you try, you're not getting him in. He just refuses. But you can grapple out of it, which is a little weird. But this is one of the few places that I could find that just feels a little off, like the feeling of, why am I here? Or, that's it. Hence why it was the first example given. Also, if you have any suggestions on where you think is more boring than the places on this list, tell me in the comments. These are the type of places that I will be showing you. Places away from the main story and side quests, places the developers probably didn't think you'd stop to explore. And I will even show you what I think is the most boring and strange place at the end of this video, but feel free to tell me if you think another one should have deserved the title of the most odd and unremarkable place in Gotham. As for the first example of one off the beaten path, here. This crashed blimp. Now you might be saying, isn't this for the Killer Croc mission? And I'd say yes. The inside of the blimp is, but you've probably only taken the time once to make your way to the edge of the blimp, most likely in search for a Riddler trophy, and leaving in disappointment. Or at least I don't remember one being here at the very tip of the nose. So yes, many of you have probably visited this spot, but most likely didn't linger, as there is nothing to do, as well as it being time consuming for you to walk or run your way to the edge of the blimp. The only thing you'll find here is water, more water, and a fire, as well as what I'd consider the best view of the moon in the game, though probably not worth it considering the lung cancer you'll most likely acquire by sitting next to the fire for too long. It's honestly a pretty lonely spot, as it should be, as it's a crashed blimp. You can't even use the freeze grenades to create ice in this water, leaving literally nothing to be had in this spot, other than the moon in all of its glory. Though I will say it's pretty relaxing just standing here, staring at the moon, just chilling on this dark night away from the chaos of thugs running around the streets. This spot is actually pretty nice. Alright, let's move on to what I would consider to be yet another contestant for the unremarkable and odd place in the game. Yes, we're back at Port Adams, and yes, it has to do with the docks around the perimeter. But it's most likely not for the reason you've guessed, as it is specifically this small dock among all of them. Alright, so look at this. This is not the dock I'm talking about, but get a good image in your head about this one. Got it? Okay, I only gotta go back. Crap. So now that you have a good image of that one in your head, let's make our way back to the original dock I'm going to be talking about. Now look at this one, the dock I am talking about. Notice anything different? If you said the no jumping and the slippery when wet signs, you'd be correct. Around Port Adams, this is the only one without safety signs, meaning you're free to do whatever. You can slip around, you can go diving, whatever makes your heart go pitter-patter, but only at this dock can you do all that. However, If you were to take your shenanigans to any of the other docks, you would be promptly fired from your job. That is if you worked at Port Adams, which Batman doesn't. But that's what makes this dock in particular special. No rules. You can do whatever, though there are some inconsistencies with the other docks, like there are a few that don't have exit signs. Let me show you that real quick. Like this one, and this one, as well as this one. These three don't have exit signs, possibly on purpose, because if all of them were exits, how would you get back in? Though it's kind of strange that, I'm not sure why the signs are missing on these. You'd assume the developers would just copy and paste after making one of the docks, since they're all relatively similar, though I'm not a developer, so I could be completely wrong. So let's head over to the next contender. This rock has zero purpose in existing. There is nothing to do on it except climb up and climb down. You could argue, however, that it is to help players make their way to the Ace Chemicals lighthouse, because it does offer quite the convenient jump to make it across nearly perfectly. Never mind. Oops. However, you could still easily make the jump from this rock up here by just diving down a bit. Never mind, let me try again. I can also show you that it's pretty easy to just glide across from the other rock, just a little dive, and boom, you're on the other side, even better than if you were to use the original rock. The only really interesting part about this rock is that you can use it to jump across to an even more useless rock. Right here. But unlike this rock, it actually does have a bit of a purpose, because it is attached to a part of land that does have stuff on it for you to explore if you felt like it. Like you can go down these stairs, or jump up, and for other lore reasons like the loading dock. However, the big rock itself has actually nothing on it. Well, that's not entirely true, as it has grass, as you can see here, and more grass, and I guess a pretty cool shape to it. But other than that, all it does is probably pose a mild threat to anybody using a boat, whether to avoid crashing into it or maybe it could collapse one day. But that's it. It's just a rock that does nothing and has no other reason to exist, unless I'm wrong, though I don't think I am. It's just a remote area to relax, no more fighting. Maybe peace is an option, I'm not sure, except it can't, because the thugs are still terrorizing the streets and the cops while they're doing car chases. I do think the GCPD could put in a little more effort, considering they have all the police officers and guns, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about this rock, and other unremarkable and boring places, like the rock at least looked interesting and could have been slightly helpful to players to glide to the lighthouse, but this dock. This dock, I have yet to figure out the purpose of it even being here. As far as I remember, there is no Riddler trophy, and let me give you a scenario alongside that too. Imagine you're a sailor. You just got back from a trip and you docked your boat here. So now you got a boat right here and you just got off it, as you just had a successful day fishing. You take all your equipment out and then that was an accident. Oops. Now what? Where do you go? You try going left and, well, that's where you came from, and so you try going right, and it's also a dead end. Crap. There is nowhere to go. There is no door on this side of the building, so if you were to dock your boat here, your only choice would either to take your boat down a little further to the actual docks right there with stairs and everything to get back to land, or jump over this roof, or even worse, jump around onto this wall, which I don't think most humans would be able to do. There is literally nothing in this spot for you to do, nor does it make sense lore-wise with the world. Also, even on the other side of this building, there is still no door. On both ends, there are no way to enter this part of the building. I have no clue why this spot exists, but I love it. Though someone in the chat did point out that it's probably a good spot for dumping bodies, but other than that, what do you do? How do you get all of your equipment there and back to this dock? That's the neat part. You don't. I've been perplexed and fascinated by this spot ever since I found it when I was first making this video. And even if there are more desolate and empty spots, I don't think anything can top the most unremarkable and odd spot in this game, as it serves, as stated before, no purpose. So I award this useless dock with the most boring place in Gotham. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you didn't, okay, cool, I guess. Also, I plan on making another video like this going over the parking issue in Arkham Knight, so if that sounds interesting, a like and subscribe with notifications would be greatly appreciated. And with that, have a good day and a good night.